We borrow $1 million a minute, and whose fault is it? Well, frankly, it's both parties' fault.
It came at the end, but for my money, it was the most powerful comment of the evening. Maybe because I'm a nerd, maybe because I'm worried about our debt, maybe because I'm aware, as both parties have, as the senator said, over the years, have used the privilege of running our national piggy bank because they've run us all into the ground. What Senator Rand Paul was talking about was the fact that both Republicans and Democrats have really driven us into a rut. What he's saying is, if you want more military spending, look at the budget we have. If you want more domestic program spending, look at the budget we have. A lot more money going out than is coming in. And that, again, was a rap on Republicans who want an even bigger military. He was also pointing out the fact it's a pretty big budget as it is. So where are our priorities and where are basic math? A fellow who argued this when he was in the Senate argues it vociferously now at the Heritage Foundation is Jim DeMint. He is, of course, the former South Carolina senator. Senator, always good having you.
Neil, good to be with you.
And, you know, this is a theme you've pounded again and again and again. I'm sure if we have the pleasure of meeting in South Carolina next month at the Fox Business Debate, you might echo with me again. This notion that, look, it's all well and good to say get a big old defense and make it bigger than it is. Fine. But we've got to find a way to pay for it. We've got to find a way to prioritize it. And no one does. What do you make of that?
Well, Neil, as you know, our debt is really worse than it's ever been in our country. Proportional to our economy, as big as it was after World War II. But we don't have a whole decades full of baby boomers who are going to help us pay these taxes. We've got decades of new retirees who be a burden on our debt. So we've got to get serious here in Washington, and what we've seen in Washington year after year, we saw it again late last night. They came out with an omnibus spending bill, over 3,000 pages of legislation and instructions. And as you said before, the Democrats won't let the Republicans build up our defense unless Republicans give them more money for domestic spending, so they compromise and spend $50 billion more than they agreed, and we're adding to our debt every year. The biggest problem, though, is not enough Americans see this as a problem because they can't feel it yet. But as has been said by many of our military leaders, our biggest threat to national security is that we won't be able to afford our defense system within a few years.
And it's a national security issue in and of itself. General Jack Kane and others who join me on this show quite often have said that this is beyond a political point, and I wonder when that reality hits in. I think, you know, there is that old saying that the paupers can be laughing stocks, and because you don't get any respect when you're bum. We are a financial bum, and we can print money, and God bless us for that, but it only deepens the problem and shows our lack of resolve, doesn't it?
We keep talking about being a rich nation, but we owe more. Our total debt is larger than our total economy, and that doesn't even include the consumer debt and other corporate debt. If you add it all up, the state debt, America is not in a position to continue to give away money to the world, to give away every year in our budget just to buy political votes. Neil, we've got an issue we need to deal with, and we can't seem to get Congress to step up and get off of this spending fix. Both parties are continuing to give away money to special interests, cronyism we call it in Washington, but we've got to get a handle on our debt, and we can't do it if every year, in order to get out of our crisis, the Democrats get what they want, Republicans get what they want, and this is what they call bipartisan compromise. It's killing our country.
Yeah, and you were saying it wasn't when it wasn't cool, Senator. But thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.